To Wednesday's edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today, I have my guardian angel John with me, who took me on a bit of an adventure yesterday. And I have to say, you never know what to expect sometimes, but it's always going to be something amazing that you're going to learn when you're communicating with your guides and your angels and the other multidimensional beings that are here to assist you if you open your inner ears and your inner eyes up to hearing them. So I ended up going for what I thought would be just a short walk yesterday. That ended up being a walk down to this place in Toronto called the Brickworks. And the Brickworks is a place where all the bricks that make up all the homes in the city of Toronto used to come out of this quarry here in Toronto. And this beautiful oasis, they've turned it into wetlands. It's really art of nature and man working together, where they've taken this place where was once an eyesore of humanity to this blending of man and nature's hand, supporting and nurturing each other, which is the way it's supposed to be, right? We're supposed to be here supporting and nurturing nature. And I'm walking along this place by this pond there, and out of the corner of my eye, I catch this beautiful, tall, gray heron standing on the shore of one of the ponds. And a thought came to my mind, I should film this, because Norma tried to film a gray heron when we were off somewhere last week, and she forgot to hit the record button. She did it in reverse because she's got a new phone. And I thought, well, here's a chance for me to get some footage for her, that as of a gray heron. So I sat down with my little cell phone and I zoomed in on it. And about 15 minutes went by and the bird did absolutely nothing. And at that point I thought, well, I should just go on. And then John stepped in and said, no. He said, stay where you are. Be patient. You have to understand the importance of being patient. And good morning, everybody. This is about time for patience. We have to have time for patience, not just for ourselves, but for the people that we love, and even the people that we don't like. We have to learn to have patience for them too. These are beings, all of us. We are beings on a spiritual quest, whether you're aware of it or not, to learn about love, to learn about life, to learn about freedom, to learn about joy, to make the distinction that we have a choice between suffering and pain. And yesterday for me, the lesson was about patience. There's always time for patience. So as I was saying, I'm sitting there looking at this beautiful, tall, gray heron on the shoreline of this pond. I sit down with my phone and a glass of water, and I thought, I'm going to film that bird so I can get this footage for Norma. And I turned to get my phone out of my satchel, and I turned, and now the bird is flown to a little island that's closer to me. But now I've missed that. I missed that moment where it flew across this island. And I think, darn, stay where you are. Keep your camera on the bird, right? Now I've got a little a Samsung Galaxy phone, and it's got about 256 GB in my micro SD card. So I figured, okay, I can film for a few more minutes. So I'd film for 15 minutes and missed that. And for the next 15 minutes, all the bird did was it would lift a leg up and would put a leg down. That would be it. A few minutes would go by and its beak might open and close. And once in a while, it would stretch its neck out and look over the water. And I watched as the timer on my camera ran down saying, memory running low, your time for film is running low. And it ran out. And I thought, well, that's it. And John said, no. He said, delete that and start again. So I deleted that 15 minutes of that bird lifting its leg and opening its beak, and I started filming again. And again, for another 15 minutes, the bird's head would pop up and look over, look that way, look down at the water, and I thought, well, maybe this bird is going to catch a fish. And maybe it's just going to fly, I don't know. But I'm going to wait. And so I waited another 15 minutes, and a leg went up, a leg went down, the head moved around a couple of times. And I noticed this other photographer had come beside me. And he sat down, he had this beautiful Nikon long-range lens, and he zoomed in on this. And so for the next hour and a half, as my memory kept running out and I had to keep deleting and then starting again, nothing happened. And I cannot tell you how many times during that hour and a half I wanted to just get up and leave. My guardian angel, John, he and all the other guys were laughing at me saying, stay, wait, be patient. You have to learn patience. If you really want to get what you want, you have to learn patience. So an hour and a half goes by, and I got 4 minutes of memory left on my phone. And I said, well, I'm going to let the 4 minutes run out. And I cannot tell you, during that 90 minutes, how many times I wanted to just get up and leave. My arms were getting sore from holding the camera on a certain angle. And I had to keep finding ways of adjusting the weight against my body so I wasn't just holding my arms up for that whole period of time. But I kept going. And then with about 2.5 minutes left on the film, all of a sudden, this beautiful heron leaps into the air and hits the water about 8 feet out from this little island it's standing on. And its head dips in the water, its body is submerged under the water, and then it comes up. And it's got this tangle of weeds hanging out of its mouth. And that's all I could see, is this tangle of weeds. I'm thinking, what? All it's got was weeds after all of that? And it turns around and it starts flapping its way back to this island on the, through the water. I guess he's pushing its feet on the ground. And it gets up on the shore, and there's this clump of weeds just hanging off its face. And it shakes its head a little bit. And as the weeds fall away, there's this beautiful fish caught in its mouth. And I'm filming all this, and I'm going, wow. And John is saying to me, you see, how many times did you want to get up and walk away from that? How many times? And I said, well, 20 or 30 times. In an hour and a half, I just wanted to, nothing was happening. The bird's head would move. And he said, you see, if you understand what you really, really want, then you have to cultivate the patience of a heron if you want to get to what you want. And literally, that heron barely moved at all in that hour and a half. It just sat on that shoreline. Head would occasionally move, a mouth would occasionally open or close, neck would outstretch. And that went on for an hour and a half. So that was the phrase that John gave me yesterday. You have to have the patience of a heron, right? And you really do when you want. That was my lesson from John yesterday. So sitting, whatever it is you are wanting or needing in your life, if you're aiming for it, if you're focused on it, stay focused on it, stay aiming for it, because it's going to happen. It's something amazing is going to happen. Now, I wasn't expecting it to catch a fish. I hoped it would catch a fish. I hoped at the very least the bird would fly. But it didn't just do that. It did all of it. It flew up into the air, leapt in the air, dove in the water, grabbed the fish, came back to the shore, climbed up, and I watched as it gobbled that fish down, the big lump in its throat is going down in its neck. And I'm thinking, I got what I wanted and more. So that's my lesson from my guardian angel John yesterday. I want to really share it with you today, that whatever it is you are hoping for or aiming for in your life, do not give up. Because eventually it's going to happen. It might not happen the way you expect, but when it does, you're going to go, wow. Because after that had happened, I turned to this professional photographer who has this incredible camera, this beautiful long-range Nikon. I don't know what the actual make and model of it, but he was like, that was well worth the wait. And I went, yeah, I'm holding my little Samsung phone in my hand going, yeah, it was. And John said to me, he said, it doesn't matter which camera you used. It matters that you got it. You got what you wanted. So it doesn't matter how big and beautiful your camera was or how little it was. It's that you wanted to have an experience like that, to witness a heron in the relative wild catching a fish and flying. And you got all that. So whatever the heron is in your life, whether it's a new home or a new job or more joy or more love, please, please, please stay focused on it. Stay focused on it. If it's the ending of your suffering, then keep your focus on happiness and you'll get there. Like I said, an hour and a half of sitting on hard concrete, because I was sitting on the edge of a bridge, with one foot poised up on a rock, another foot dangling over the water, while holding my phone for an hour and a half. it was really hard for my mind sometimes to think that, well, I cannot tell you how many times that happened in my mind. Well, maybe I should just go. I'm wasting my time. That's what was going on in William's little head, right? John, my other guys were laughing at me saying, hey, you don't realize what you're doing yet. You just be patient, wait. And I literally, okay. And I literally kept waiting. And every time my mind would say no, and I even took the phone down for a second, and no. And I kept going back to what it was that I was after. And they really encourage you, do not give up whatever it is you're seeking for. And that was what John gave me yesterday to share with you guys today, that you need to cultivate the patience of a heron with regard to whatever it is you want in your life. Because as long as you're focused on it, do not let your mind say, no, don't let your mind talk you out of it. Your mind is not who you are. Your thoughts are not who you are. Your memories are not who you are. You are a being of radiant light and love, capable of manifesting and creating whatever you desire in this physical dimension that's available here for you to produce. And if you can't see it in the world, you may be the one to create it in the world. But do not take your eyes off your prize, whatever your prize is. For me, yesterday, it was getting that footage that I could bring back to Norma and say, hey, look, I found this footage for you of this gray heron that I could share with her. And it was an amazing thing to actually watch that happen and unfold in real time. It was well worth the hour and a half of my time to be able to acquire that gift to give to somebody that you care about. And you're equally as important as anybody else in your life. So remember, the things that you want for yourself, never take your attention away from it. Keep going. No matter what your mind tells you, no matter what other people tells you. I remember people standing behind me looking at him, and someone, some little child saying, look at the small camera he's got, Daddy, right? Referring to my cell phone, right? And it didn't upset me. I didn't realize it didn't matter how big the camera was. It was what I got, what I wanted. And he got what he wanted. And that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to get what we want, right? We just have to be able to keep our attention on it. So with that note, the time for patience, always make time for patience. Always. It is the most powerful gift you can ever give to yourself as a soul, because your mind has no patience. Your body is based in time. Your mind is based in time. They think they have a limited amount of time. Your body and your mind have a limited amount of time on this physical dimension. That's just reality. We might not like it while we're in it, but it's the reality. You have infinitely more time than your mind and body will ever be able to experience. It's why you can go from one life to another life to another life to another life, because the range of time that you as a soul have is so much vaster than the range and time of this physical body or that physical mind that you're currently existing, the personality that you think you are right now. So make time for patience, no matter what it is, because you've got an eternity. Your body and mind don't, but you have an eternity. So make time for patience every single day. We'll take a couple of questions, and that'll be the lesson for today. But I've got to say, make time for patience. And whatever it is you've got to do, wherever you're going, make time. Don't feel hurried. Don't feel rushed. Make time for patience. Yes, I got that. So before, also the other thing that happened this morning is I was told to go and get my license renewed, because my license had to be renewed 7 days ago. And I also discovered that my health card had to be renewed. And so I got out, and then I get over to the place where I'm supposed to get these things renewed. I find it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and this is a 20-minute walk away from where I live, where I've gone. And I get there, and there's a lineup of 9 or 10 people in front of me. And John steps in and says, you have to make time for patience. And so here I am this morning, sitting in this government office, getting my health card and driver's license renewed with a bunch of people in front of me. And he said, don't look at the clock, just be in patience. So I literally sat there with all these people in front of me, and I just moved in this vibe. Every time my mind would go, what about time? I'd say, no. Every time my mind tried to go, you're not going to have enough time. You're going to miss the going live. My mind gave me all these stories And how many times has your mind done that to you, giving you stories like that? And John's laughing, Archangel Michael's laughing at me, and they're saying, listen, make time for patience. You'll be so much happier. So I did. I literally sat there and I watched as the line of people began to suddenly move as I stayed in patience. And I just began to move into this feeling that I had all of the time in the world. I just suddenly hit that place where I have all the time in the world. I do. And my mind fell silent, my body relaxed, and I was in the moment. And that's what happens when you make time for patience. You move into the moment, and in the moment, you're undisturbed. You can focus clearly. Your mind is at peace. And yeah, as the line rolled on and we got to my turn, and the lady processed it very quickly. And of course, my mind is then saying it's a government office. They don't accept cash. They only accept debit cards because everybody else was paying with their debit cards. So my mind, even at that moment, starts to give me reasons why I can't get what I want, right? And I said, shh, I got all the time in the world. I'll wait until she's finished the process. And sure enough, she accepted cash. They said, we don't normally accept cash, but we're going to accept cash. And so I paid for my license and card, and I came back here with 28 minutes to spare. And it's normally about a 40-minute round trip. If you walk a normal walk and you walk there and you walk back, it's about 40 minutes. And then getting prepared. And I had 22 minutes to get ready for this today, to meditate and go in and say, what's this about today, guys? So please, make time for patience throughout your day. If your mind, even for a moment, tells you it's not going to work, tell your mind to be quiet, take your attention away from it, make this decision. I have all the time in the world. And your mind is going to fight with that because we are so conditioned as biological entities to believe that we have a limited amount of time. Yeah, if your body does have a limited amount of time, your mind has a limited amount of time. That personality will never exist again except on an astral plane. Right? You have eternity. You get to dance through time eternally as an awareness. So please make time for patience today, no matter what. Anyway, let's get into a few questions on this patience. I wonder what your stories are. What sort of time? Have any of you ever found yourselves in that position where you decide you had to make time for patience? If any of you have done that, we've had to make time for patience. We've had to actually say to your mind, no, we're not going to hurry or rush. We're going to take our time. If any of you have had that experience, please tell your story in the comments section of this video. Please share your story with others so that they can be inspired to know that they're not the only ones that realize you have more time than you realize. Make time for patience. Wonderful. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hi, Mary. Hi, Kate. Wow. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that, Kate. Yeah. We started our Mediumship 101, 102, 103 program. We'll be starting in just a few more weeks from now. All the information will be up on my website for those of you that are interested in taking courses and classes and connecting to your guides and your angels. It makes life so much easier than being on your own. You know, you are never on your own. You might be alone in a physical sense, but on a spiritual level, you are never, ever, 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 ever alone. And when you learn to hear, when you learn to feel, when you learn to sense and know the presence of the beings that are around you, it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference in being able to be guided. Like yesterday, I could not have done that on my own without John and Michael and them guys all saying, stay, be patient, relax. That would never have happened. This morning, probably there were 5 or 6 times I said, well, maybe I better go. I might not have time to get back. And if I kept listening to that, if I had not had them there saying, no, you've got time to be patient. And it all works out. So please share your stories with others, inspire others. Question from Vertical Connection. 2 months ago, the potential for a new cooperation opened up, followed by correspondence a month later. No answer to my last response to them. I answered all questions. Have they lost interest? I don't know who this is, but I'm using the term fairy goddess because that's kind of how her energy feels. and she's saying, have you lost patience or interest? It's important you understand you must let them know you are seriously interested in a loving and excited way. Let them know how excited you are to hear from them. Send a message off to them right now. Let them know how excited you are to hear back from them. Let them know this. And do not be confused or attached to what you want having to happen in a very specific and precise way. Your little mind will try and tell you something is wrong always. That's the way it's designed by this world. And only you can liberate yourself from that. Wow. I don't know how to pronounce that. She's giving me a name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. That's how it sounds to me. I can't pronounce that. And there's no English translation. Yeah, it's not language from this world. It sounds like light language. Her name is in light language. Interesting. Cool. Thank you so much for that question, Vertical. Question from Sunny. We weren't sending our toddler to school yet because of the situation. I'm worried about him not seeing other kids. Told him. Any guidance on this? You are very blessed in this regard. You are very blessed in this regard. For it is important that he learn his value first. He must understand his value. The process of these young ones learning how to breathe, learning how to become mindful that they are the one that is operating the temple, not the one that is the servant in the temple. You may use this time wisely in this manner to teach one to recognize their authority over how they can direct their hand, and they can direct their feet, and they can direct their legs, and they can direct their breathing, and they can direct their thoughts, and they can direct their attention. These are very important things. Often, when they learn this, they are far more equipped to deal with people in life, for they will not get distracted by others. The time for connecting to others will come very soon for this one. You will see many opportunities. There is no difficult situation other than the one that making time for patience is so important. John is saying to you, you love your child so much. Be patient. As we instructed this one, you must also be aware to be patient for your child, for they do not know how to do this of themselves yet. Be patient for your child, that you are clear that you want them to have a social experience. Be patient, and the time will happen when the time is ready to happen. So many of your little minds want to make it happen in a certain way in a certain time, and that's not always what it is about. There are times where it will happen when it happens and not before. Thank you, John. I like that. Yeah, it's a very powerful lesson. Wonderful. Question from Marigold. Is there a message for me regarding my journey? Thank you. I don't know who this is. This is strong. There's a man you're going to be meeting on this journey. He's very dark hair. Very, he's somebody you've had another lifetime in Egypt with, but you're going to be re-encountering this person in this incarnation on your journey. Dark hair, dark eyes, I can see his facial features very clearly, but very soft, beautiful soul. Yeah, his ears are slightly out, but he's got dark, short hair, tight, almost curly tight to his hair. And yes, his nose is very, very slender and pointed. Yeah, very elfin-like. If you've ever seen human conceptions of what elves look like, it's very similar to what a human conception of an elf is. Very interesting. Well, let us know when that happens, Marigold. Very excited for you guys. Question from Sanaz. The topic is something for me. Do you get many messages for me because I feel I have stopped? I've stopped to improve. It's funny, John saying you haven't stopped. Nobody can stop. You cannot stop. You can either improve or you can not improve, but you cannot never be stationary. The recognition of what it is you are moving towards is very important. You must be clear of your destination. If joy is your destination and there is simply a pause in the process, there is simply a pause in the process. If love is your destination, and there's a pause in the process, there is simply a pause in the process. So many of you are so eager to get where you are trying to go that you do not realize that you are already there. In this process with this one, yesterday and this morning, we gave him a very clear instruction on how to be in this place of patience, how to make time for that. Yes, and his mind is very busy. His mind is always trying to be somewhere other than where it is. We have to really keep him on track. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Be patient. Like yesterday, for that first hour, there were many, many minutes where the bird would do absolutely nothing. That stork would sit on that shore and it would do absolutely nothing. And I was like, oh, I don't want to. And my mind was doing, oh my gosh, gotta wait. And they kept coming and laughing at me, saying, make time for patience. Make time for patience. And eventually, it happens. So be patient. Make time for patience. I'm really grateful you guys came out today. Last question. How can I differentiate between my guides and my mind voice? Great question. Wow. There's so much excitement for you. Wow. That is a very powerful question. They're saying, for many of you, your mind is always perceived as that which believes you will never achieve or acquire what you desire. Your mind is that facet of your energy that is based in fear. It is based in the body. That which are our voices, messages to you, are always in the present. We are always in the present with you. Our voices are clear. Our voices are certain. We have absolutely no doubt about what we say. There is no doubt. Whereas you will find that voice of your mind is often filled with doubt or uncertainty or questions that pose deeper fear or deeper uncertainty. We would not offer you any of that. But you can hear. It's, for me, it was really such a stark contrast. Sitting there for an hour and a half on cold cement and experiencing that and watching how that unfolds. And the mind going, oh, this is boring. It's not going to happen. I don't have time. The sun's going down. It's getting dark. The shadows are coming. It's going to get cold. My mind, your mind, everyone's mind will give you a reason why you can't have what you want. Because we live in a world where most people believe they're not able to get what they want. And so most people aren't getting what they want. But there are many people who do believe they can get what they want. So yeah, for me, and from their perspective, it's really listening to that voice, because there's no fear. You will hear no fear from them. You will hear no doubt. You'll hear no energy. None of that energy. Thank you so much. Last question for the day. For Adam. Oh, wait, there's a new person, Lynette. Sorry, Adam. We're going to go to Lynette. Hi, Lynette. Any message or of guidance for what is relevant? Well, if you go back over what was just said here, you are going to hear lots of relevance. Make time for patience today. Everybody, please. Make time for patience. No matter where you are, what you think you have to get done or not get done, move into that energy of patience like you've got all the time in the world. Even if you're waiting in a lineup or you're stuck in traffic and your mind is telling you you're going to be late, sit in patience. Say, no, I'm going to be in this patience. I'm going to make time for patience right now. I'm not going to make time for fear, or I'm not going to worry about what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. Make time for patience. Outcomes in your life are going to change very rapidly when you make time for patience. And you're going to discover your ability to alter and change time comes with that understanding. Your ability to alter and change time comes with the understanding of how to make time for patience. Yes, I understand that. Thank you so much. Wow. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out to today's edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Remember to give this video a thumbs up It helps with the algorithms. And remember, if you're new here, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know that we come live when we come live. We come live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and we do a meditation on Saturday to help integrate the energies that we're imparting on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please join us for our Saturday meditation. I'll see you guys on Friday, edition of Shortcuts to Your Soul. Much love. Thank you, my guardian angel John, and for the other beings that came through to us today. I send out much love to all of you, from my guides, my angels, my multidimensional team to yours. Much love. Have a wondrous and joyful day. Bye for now.